since I've posted a video, and I have something very special to tell you. The reason it's been a while is because the universe has been playing with me, and I have received the desire of my heart. So a couple of months ago, I was having a very busy week, and had been enjoying visiting with my son, who lives in the Pacific Northwest. And he was going through a very interesting time in his life. We were talking every day, and I began to think, oh my goodness, the one thing that I have really struggled with in the past year is I've been rebuilding my life after a year of so many losses in 2017. Was that I wanted to spend time with my son, with both of my sons, but it seemed like I was struggling to not make a living. I was making a living okay, but to have enough to not only make a living, but also have a life, and I wanted to spend time with my kids. And so it was a challenge because my son works full time. He's got a manager position, so it's kind of critical that he is at his job. And so one day I was on my way to a birth, and I had just sent a text to a friend of mine who I've known for a couple of decades, who lives in the Portland area, and I said, "What's the birth climate like there?" And she said, "Oh, we need to talk. We need to have a good, long talk." And I was just a few minutes away from attending a birth. And we talked on the phone while I was driving toward that birth. And she shared with me some life changes that she had been through, and then said, "You should move to Portland. You should move." And I had just been toying with the idea of changing the narrative in my mind, the script that runs in my mind about all of the reasons why I can't do things. And I made a decision to begin saying yes to everything. And I said yes. So the next morning when my son called me, I shared this with him. And the determination was made that I should say yes to moving to Portland. So I went in to wake up my other son, who worked as a barista, and so he worked late at night, and he was going to school. And so I went and woke him up and said, "We're moving to Portland." And he said, "It's about time." And from that moment on, all of the details began to fall into place. My younger son, who had just begun school just this last year, went into the registrar's office and said, what would be my penalty if I had to drop out of college for this semester? And they said, today is the last day. If you put it in writing, you could do it with no penalty. And so he put it in writing. And the next day, my older son called him and said, "Do you want to interview for a job?" And he said, "Yes." And he interviewed the next day, and the next day he got the job. And the next week I had to be away to be at Lamaze in Pittsburgh for an entire week. And I was very worried about being away the whole entire week. And then the very next day was April 15th. Taxes were due. I wasn't done, so I had to come home and finish my taxes. And then the very next morning, put my youngest child on a plane across the country all by himself. And I watched him become a man in front of my eyes. And over the next few weeks, I began to inform my friends here in the Dallas area that my life was about to change, and everyone met the news with such excitement, and everything worked out. In fact, my very, very dear friend who picked me up when I had been thrown down and kicked found out about it quite accidentally and threw me a beautiful surprise party with all of the girlfriend was in the Dallas area, and we were going to move together to share moving expenses. And she said, when do you want to go? And I said, this is when my lease is up, and why don't you just decide and we'll just do it. And she said, well, how about June 18th? And I said, oh my goodness, that would be divine timing. That's my birthday. And she said, oh my goodness, it's mine too. And so the great news is Tuesday was my birthday, and I left the apartment that I had been in for 11 years, where all of my heartbreak and healing had taken place over those years. The place where I lost my mother, the place where I lost my business, the place where I lost my mind, the place where I lost my son because he left this cult and I was determined to stay in it. Lost my other son because he left the cult, and then I lost my binding to that cult. I unbound myself. I got free from that. And so I had come full circle. And I am about less than an hour from being with my sons, both of my sons. Now live in the Portland area, and I am going to stay with them, and we're going to live together until I find out what other surprises and delights that the universe has for me. I will be doing some house sitting from time to time so that my son can enjoy his privacy and that I can enjoy mine, and we will find out how our life is going to just get better and better and better. About, I guess, maybe 3 months ago, my brother Roger, and if any of you follow XJW Analyzer, John Leger, he read my brother's letter to his son, and that it's just recently come out in Spanish as well, and thousands of views have happened on that. And right before my brother sent that letter to his son, he and I had spoken on the phone one day, and he's been free for quite some time and kind of set a pattern for the rest of us in our family to be free. And I hope that he doesn't mind, and I'm sure that he doesn't, that I share with you how happy his life is. He had spent the last few years in the organization, or trying to break away from the organization, and it was hard for him. And he suffered the way many of us did when we were trying to make sense of something that didn't make sense. And he's since become free in every sense of the word. And as we were talking on the phone one day, he said, Bren, my life is so happy now. I could say my life is orgasmic because he is being able to fulfill all of his dreams of his childhood. He loved to play the drums, and now he's playing the drums all the time. He's in a band, and he has real friends, and he's enjoying his daughter and his granddaughters and all of that family. And I said, oh, Roger, I am so happy for you. And it's going to be so wonderful when I'm going to be able to say that too. And so today I would like to share with you that my life is orgasmic. It's happy. It is so happy. It is happy beyond all of my expectations. And so I am not fixed up today. In fact, I am the least fixed up I think I've ever been. I've been on the road solid since Tuesday morning, and they've been long days. We've had 10, 11, 12-hour days, and today is no exception. And I've wanted to come on here so many times and share with you, all of you that have been on this journey with me. And there's a big, big, giant hole between there and there, and I will fill that out because as I have more free time by Amber Scora. I've enjoyed listening to her book before my trip, and then again here during my trip, and so many that have shared their stories. And so I know that when we do tell our stories, that it inspires other people, and we feel really that we're not alone. And it's lovely. You're not alone. I'm not alone. There's so many good things and beings and everything that's out here for us. And so, Roger, thank you, darling. My dear brother, Linda, my dear sister, who has been my biggest cheerleader. Thank you, sister. Thank you. Thank you for being patient for me to arrive and to show up. And thank you to all of you who have sent me so many good wishes. Thank you, Dylan, my son, who broke free and made a space for me all these years later. Thank you, Preston, for being brave and to show me really what unconditional love is all about. And all of you that love them, all of you that love them and have made space in your lives for us too. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. I'm almost there, guys. I'm almost there. And I love you. I'll be back. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for sharing. Please share this. If you know anybody that knows us or loves us or should, share it. Because hopefully this will inspire others to reach for your orgasmic life. It's out here. It's so beautiful. And now I'm going to go and just feel this and look at this beautiful country. It is truly so gorgeous here. Please come see us. We love you. Mwah.